Hi guys, Dave in Texas here. And what you're looking at is a nice, beautiful Gibson back from the day. I believe he says from the 70s. I'm not really sure, I have to check it. But anyway, great looking little guitar. Okay, it's got its problems. We're here to set it up and possibly do a fret job on it. It needs to be recrowned badly. But other than that, you can see the fretboard starting to wear out some. It's getting that scalloping in it. It needs to be taken care of quickly before that gets any worse. And that'd be perfect timing to do that too. Do the scalloping, or do the fretboard dressing, and the recrown the frets on this thing. But he's waiting to decide on whether or not he's going to do his amp. Right, there's his amp, the bottom part of it, the top part actually. Anyway, that's his amp that we're working on too. It's a Bender Super Reverb from the 60s, 70s, 69, 70 era. And he doesn't know which one to do. Do this one, get it fixed, or do the amp, get it fixed, or he's just trying to make his mind up after the holidays. But in the meantime, what we're going to do, while we can do it, is go ahead and do a free setup on this guitar for him. Since I can always take those new strings off later on if I wind them enough. And that's what I'm going to do. But let's go through it piece by piece as we normally do this. First things first. We're going to get some linseed oil on that fretboard. Try to protect it as much as we can. And I've already gone over that with him about protecting his fretboard, what he needs to do. So that will not be a surprise to him. But he was not aware that he should use linseed oil. And I hope he wasn't using lemon pledge. You know, that's the worst stuff to use on a guitar's neck, on the fretboard. So let's go ahead and dress this out really nice and get this thing all soaked into this wood. You see that, guys? You can see some of it. Hold on a minute. Let's get this neck treated. You see how much of it stays with the guitar, or how much remains on top of the fretboard. And I've already done this once earlier, so it's a nice clean board. But I want to make sure it's, you know, receiving this treatment as much as it can while it's in here. That way, at least my conscience is clear that we took care of it in this nasty type of heat we got, this dry heat. So we're going to let that soak in, and then we're going to take some measurements on it. With the strings off, as well as maybe do some polish up on it with strings off of it. Then come in, do the strings on, do a setup, and go from there. Give you a chance to hear it play. So hang in there while this dries. Well, as you can see, it soaked up still a bunch of this linseed oil, which I thought it would do. And of course it's showing signs of aging, which, you know, happens to a 4-year-old guitar. But we're going to go ahead, wipe off the excess. Get it nice and cleaned up. We gotta go back later and polish these frets up, what's left of them. And we're going to use a fret eraser so we don't become too abrasive with the frets. There's not a lot left of them, unfortunately. But what happens when your frets get cowboy cuts into them and they're really low? Your guitar plays flat. There's not enough fret there to, you know, push the string down and take it to tone, or take it to the proper tone or pitch, so you get a flat note. So you string, you know, you tune your guitar up, you know, to avoid that if you have to, you know, tune it up sharp or sharper, so you get a proper note when you play them, you know, because of those cowboy indentions. And this one's got them all over the fretboard. Looks like they're pretty much worn out all over, and somebody's flattened them out, and that's not the best thing to do. You know, some of these may have to be pulled after all. The first 4 may have to be pulled. I'm just, you know, cross my fingers I don't have to do that to this guy, because that's going to be a pain in the busky. That means removing that binding, and that's no easy job. Or if he doesn't mind, just put them in over the binding. You know, just have them inside the binding instead of, you know, tucked under, which is a total pain in the busky and a lot more work. So let's get down to this. Let's get an idea of the relief this guitar has on it. It's a Gibson. So let's go to the Gibson scale here and see what we got. And we have just a tiny bit of relief on this, guys. Not enough, really. It's almost flat. Oh, you can't see that, but I can. I'll tilt it, maybe. No, I can't tilt it. It's too heavy. Anyway, it's got just a tiny bit relief. It needs a little bit more, about half again. You know what it is now? It's just almost flat. You could call it flat. And that means going in and checking out the truss rod on this thing. So, next step, since it is flat, let's go ahead and take a look at the truss rod, make sure it's working, and maybe do a relief on that some and see how that turns out, because we definitely have the tools to do it with. And we'll put these on it for him, these nines, these Dunlap nines that he wants on there. Put those strings up on it, and let's see, first of all, I'll get that truss rod cover off and find the proper truss rod wrench Gibson I've got to get that done, get that job done. So let's get this off. And these are replacement screws in this thing, and they're in there tight as can be. So it's a good thing I have the right size driver. I want to strip these old things, and we always try to make sure we keep the original parts on these guitars. Don't just, oh well, these are old, putting these screws on. No, everything remains original as it can be, guys. And there's that Gibson nut, the truss rod nut. See that? They are very serious about their, truss rod nuts, which I like. I mean, it's very precise. Okay, so let me cut away while I find the tool to adjust that with. Be right back. Okay, so we got the right tool for the job, and here's what we're going to be using to clean those frets up with, polish those up when it's time for that. And I'll probably do that before we string that thing up. Okay, here's the proper tool for the Gibsons. Okay, here we go. Now, let's cross our fingers and see if it's working. We want to loosen this thing up. It's working all right. So, let's give it one more turn and stop. All right, that was about a full half turn on that. And we'll go back and check that here in a minute and get the chance for the fretboard to relax a bit and see if we got some relief on it. So hang in there, guys. Well, I'm okay with that. That's got enough relief, and I think that he'll be pleased with, since he's playing with a flat board anyway. Alright, let's try one more half turn on this and see what we come up with. That's about a full turn. Now let that sit for a while, see what we got. I think you can live with that. That's good right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and clean these frets up. We'll switch the guitar around, get to that, and clean up the overall body, and then we'll tune it up and intonate it, and finish up any extra polish up we need to do, and that will be that. So hang in there, guys, while I switch the guitar around. Okay, we're going to polish these frets up for them, make them nice and clean again. And what I do, what I used to do is tape down every fretboard, come in with steel wool and polish those things up, and just try to stay on the fret. But since I came up with these tools, these are much handier and they work much better too. Now I don't know if you can see this on camera or not, but when I'm finished with this fret is going to be really shiny again, like that, nice and shiny again. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but I can see it with my own eyes. It's like, wow, night and day stuff. Very, very nice and very smooth too. with the exception of you know, those cowboy indentures. You can't think about those. Those just need to be refretted. Sorry, recrowned. They're still there, just not as, you know, prevalent as they were before. Now all the dirt's out of there and it's shined up. But you can't polish out holes, and you just end up digging them deeper. That's why I'm going really easy on this, and only with this one kind of grit eraser. Okie dokie. Now I'm not going to show you me doing every one of these things. I'm sure that would bore you to tears. So I'm going to go through here, hit these with this eraser, and then come back with steel wool and polish them up, finish them out, and then clean up all the aftermath. Those look nice. Clean them all up and put the strings on. Well, sorry, clean the guitar up first and then put the strings on, go from there. So hang in there, guys. You know, guys, one thing is I always notice is that when the fretting gets bad, someone will come down to the lower part and file the other ones flat, trying to keep these even, which is a mistake. But it's been done, so that's the way that sits. And it looks to me that they may have taken off too much. I have to check that and see. But anyway, this is real close to needing a re-fret instead of re-crown. Real close. Not a heck of a lot left on these. But, you know, it just depends. Anyway, next step, let's clean it all up. Where the strings will be in the way when I do the cleanup on it. Get that done, get it nice and clean, and string her up and finish the setup. Hang in there, guys. Now, as part of the cleanup and finish up, guys, what I do is I take 4/0, where are you? Camera. I take 4/0 steel wool and finish these frets up, making sure I stay within my little boundary here because this steel wool wants to spread. That puts that final shine on these things, makes them nice and slick feeling for the player. We'll skip down a few. Come back to that when we move that support. Anyway, let's back it up some so you see what I'm doing. I just kind of skipped over some so I could get back to the others first. Come back to those other ones next. You see this, guys? My hands are in the way, but you should be seeing that they're polishing up real nicely. They're shining up. That's what you want to see. And these are good frets. I did make them right. It's a nickel alloy. It's nickel steel alloy. But they've been shaved flat to make them all even. So there shouldn't be any rockers in the bunch. Anything that's causing fret buzz. And that's just a quick fix to recrowning it, or when you need to recrown. Alright, time to switch over. Got my little file, little jig there. Oopsie. Alrighty, so that's all done. Like I said, I'm taking clean this thing up with some polishing compound while it's unstrung, and things aren't in my way when I try to polish it up, make it nice. That's the way I usually do it. And then it's time to string it up and finish the setup. Hang in there. So what I'm doing, guys, I put a little Windex on this toothbrush, and I wrap these knobs and get all this dirt out from those numbers. Turn them white again. So they look nice again. And some, you know, come out real quick, and some need some extra work on them to get that crud out of there. But what I don't want to do is take the white out, because a lot of this is worn out. The white's, you know, just about gone. But they're so full of dirt You want to get that stuff out of there, and as gently as you can, and not use something too abrasive. Wow, that's just caked in there. I have to get something to get that stuff out. But the other ones came out really, nice. I mean, they came out readily, cleaned up real nicely. So, go figure. This one's going to be a pain in the buttsky. Let's see if I can't dry it off. Get that crap out. Oh man, I think that's about as good as it's going to get. Most of that's worn off. That white's gone away. So, anyway, the rest of the knobs look really beautiful. We've done that job up. Put that brush away. And next step. Well, we got those knobs cleaned up as best we could. The volume and tone came out real nicely. They're all nice and white and shiny again. No dirt in those. But anyway, here we go. Let's go ahead and string this thing up with the strings he chose. And go from there. Alright. So hang in there, guys. We're going to do some more rearranging here, as well as find my little drill tool. Hang in there. And like I said, here's what we're going to put on there for him. He chose these, brought them with him. And when you bring your own strings, there's no charge for a setup. All I do is charge for the strings if you don't bring your own. Get these out of here. We'll put those back into his case so he'll know what he's got strung up with. Okay, where's my little knife? Open this thing up. Now, I do like the way they package these days. They seal them, and that does add to the life of these things, I guarantee you. Compared to being on the shelf for 5 years and exposed to the air, that doesn't help at all. I don't care what they're made out of. As long as they're exposed to the air, that's a problem. And we got number 9s are going on here. The 9s. And there are several ways you can do a trapeze tail light, You put a piece of tape across it to hold them in place, get that on there. And some are made a little better than others in that they'll hold the string better and while you're winding it up. And I've said this a million times before, I'll take it past that first post, pull tight on it, bring it back, put a big wrap around it, and make sure we got at least 2 wraps on this thing for him. Gotta keep it tight. Okay, everything's down to the ground, so it's going to be making that buzzing sound. So what we're going to do, I'm going to switch this camera around, get up here on the head itself so you can see what's going on, and go from there. Next string's a 36, and the tail's already down and holding, so make sure we got to make sure that we get in there underneath this and it captures this bobbin as best we can. Like that. You'll see just a little bit of the winding at the bobbin come through that lets you know it's all the way to the end and it's in the right spot on the tail. But you need to keep that pressure up on it until you get those first wraps, so then slide back out of the tail again. And that's very important on the thinner strings, the falling strings. Alright, let's back it up a little bit, keep the pressure on it. A little wrap. Okay, like again I said, keep that pressure on it. It's going to come out of the tail. And if it does, it's no big deal. You can always go back and reset it, but that's not going to hurt anything. You want to get 2 wraps of this at least, so you can do alternate tunings. And him being a pro, I'm sure that's what he wants on this. He doesn't want a quick feed through, especially on a guitar like this. It's probably a special one for him, in that he uses this for, probably, specialty songs and such. And that's the one he uses, period. All right, let's get these string whiskers cut off here. And I'll cut these like this for now, then decide later what he wants to do with them. If he wants to go shorter, I'll cut them shorter for him. Normally what I want to do is go a little bit longer, twist them backwards on themselves so they don't get stuck. Okay. This I believe is a 26. Like I said, the most important thing is to get that bobbin in there and see the end of that winding on this string. So you know you got it all the way to the end of the tail, and keep the pressure on until you get started. So then you just drop right out again. And this one you want to do the same thing again. Do that little twist. Keep the pressure up on it as best you can. Grab your little hand tool and go to town. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't want that to happen. Here we go. Come on, little string. I may need to start this by hand a little bit. Oh, that's way too much. I've lost it. Damn it. Lost the string off the tail. That's what's fun about the trapeze bridges, guys. That string can come right out of there and cause you nothing but grief. Okay, let's hit it with that little tool. Finish this up. Sure it's in the saddle. Alright. Got it. Okay, now. Okay, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to flip it around, guys, after I cut that extra string off. Alright. I'm going to flip it around. Alright, there we are. Alright. See, next string's on there. Next one is a 16. Then we got a 11 and a 9. So, to get to work. And I may be all in front of this thing right now, but I basically just want to get this thing done for him and not monkey around too much with it. I hope I'm still in the hole at the trapeze. I can just get a turn on it, I can get it done. Wow, this thing's bent. Got one bent tuner. Okay. Ha! Alright, I got a turn on it, This guy stick down below. I'll work my way up. Well, that is awkward, guys. I don't know how much you can see of this, but things just spinning awkward around this thing. Alright, that's not tight enough. Okay. That's tight enough for now. Make sure they're on the saddle. Okay. So, got that, what next dance you want to do? Like I said, they're easy to do, except for that trapeze tail, guys. That just is a pain sometimes. Okay, so let's grab this next one. B string. Keeping it below all the wraps. Make sure you get around at least 3 times on this one. There we are. Alright. Alright, that's way tight enough. Alright, last one's in the 9. And that's the one that you have to be careful with. You don't break it by going a little too tight. Let me turn that whisker off real quick. Oh boy, it's always a joy. That pulling a little away from the other strings. Alright. This one you want to take about a little bit past the next pole, not 1.5. Start some of this by hand. Alright, there you go. Okay. We've got nice strung up. And what we'll do is cut that last whisker off. And then we'll start making adjustments to the bridge. So we can tune it up. Nice and in tune for the first time. And then let them stretch out and come back and redo it again a few times as the weather permits. Okay? Hang in there. I've got the bridge in a temporary state right now just to help adjust it on and on. But what I'm going to do is take it to tune, leave it there for a while at this setting right now, which is the setting it was before when he brought it in. I did a measure up. But we'll lower it some on the E as well as the high E, get the action out a little bit more, and go from there. So, next thing to do is just let these strings adjust a little bit. We'll keep tuning and tuning them until we finally get them in tune today, and we'll do a final adjustment later on, which you won't see any drop in time because it'll kind of happen right after I shut this thing off. And you can turn it back on again to finish up the final tuning and playing it, but you hear what it sounds like. So, hang in there, guys. I've got the first string tuning on this guitar right now, which you can see it's really going out quick. I did some stretching as well. So we're getting there, and then I'll come in through and I'll do the action on it. I'll check the action, I'll check the relief again, make sure I got 101 on this, what the guy wants on it, the type of action he wants. And I'll show you how that's done. And then finally, the fun part, the intonation that needs to be done. And one thing I want to make sure fix is the action on these pickups is just way too high. And he's losing a lot of tone because they're touching, all except the E high. That's just too close to the string, so he's losing a lot of his tone. And we'll get our gauges in there and set that up and go from there and see what we got to do to make those adjustments too. So, be back. Well, I'm checking the action on this, and it's a little bit high still. It's still like a little action gauge. It still looks like it's 5,664, so that's a little too high. Same for the other side, they're just about even. So we're going to lower these a bit. And see what we come up with. I know it's not in tune, but get a rough estimate. That's still too high on that side. Alright, that's about right. That's right. Let's get him to tune again. not too far off. Check it one more time on the action. And I want to get 4 and 3/64 across it. This old guitar. Alright, we're at tune again. Let's check it one more time and see what we got here. Alright. And we got 4. And we got 3. Okay, so we got it right, which is not bad. We got it at 4 and 3/64 across. It's got tuned up, and there's no fret buzzing on it. So the next thing to do is just let these strings tune themselves in and finish that stretching. Then do the intonation, and that's it. Unless he wants to trim those whiskers off later on, but we also need to adjust these pickups, get those lower because they're way too high. Take a look at that right now, since I'm there. And I use these gauges, I don't just eyeball it. I use these gauges to make sure I can come in there and know what I'm talking about, and of course there's no space whatsoever to get through there. On the opposite side, let's see where we are with it. Oh, come on, baby. No, it's nothing there to it's got both got to come down, that's all there is to it. So we'll get those lowered to spec on that first, and the back pickup we'll check it as well. Make sure we don't have an issue with that one, and get these things right. Get them set up proper, right in order. Now I'm wondering if this can do the trick. Let's see. Oh, they're set now. Nope. Way still too high. It's gotta lower it down, guys. Got to come down. Check it now. That should be more than enough. This thing go through. Come on, damn it. Almost. Almost. It's a little bit more on this side. That should do it. Oh, God almighty, okay. That got it. Okay, that's got that one at least. Let's try the other one. Let's see what we come up with. Alright, will it clear? Will it clear? No, it won't. Oh, come on, David. That should clear now, guys. Nope. Alright, try it one more time. That cleared that one that time. Okay, so that's clearing now. Let's try the other side. Oh, gotta grab the right gauges here. Got too many. Oh, we clear on this one. Yeah, or more than clear. That's got to come up a little bit. Hey. Yeah, there we go. Alright, that pickup is perfectly set up. Let's go to the other one. And test it. Same test. Way too high. Bring it down. Wow. That's still too high. Doggone it. Right there. A little more. Alright, that got that one. That's properly adjusted. No. Still too high. Damn it. That. Alright, that got that one. Finally, good grief. Alright, let's try the other side. A lot of times when you do this much adjusting, you have to adjust it on up. Yeah, that's got to come up some. Wait a minute. No, it doesn't. That's perfect. Okay. There you go. Those are perfectly adjusted pickups on this guitar now. You got to check the tuning some more. Check the relief and the intonation, and we're just about done with this one. Get a chance to hear it play. And it should play a lot better than it has been playing. Now it's been set up properly. And wow, is it really out of adjustment on those pickups. Those are way too high. One drowning out the other one. Alright, let's try the strings again. I'm staying in. Well, you know, it's staying in tune. Okay. Alright, well, we'll switch it around a little bit so we can do the intonation on it and go from there. Okie dokie. So hang in there while we change this camera about so I can do this job right. So what I'm doing, guys, I'm going through and hitting the harmonics on these strings. That's perfect. That's perfect. He's fine. He's good. A. That's good. That's good. Let's try the next one. D's flat. Okay. And I'll make just a couple of turns. Oh wow, that just moved completely. What the hell? What's wrong with that saddle? That's bizarre. It's just free moving in there, like it's stripped. Uh-oh. Well, that's the tune now. I pushed it and it's moved. Okay. That's bizarre. That's perfect, alright? That's tuned. Alright, so it's in pitch. The original sound settings were correct. And not much had changed. He said that one I pushed, well, I changed 3 of them up, so that's not many. So now we got the intonator, we got it tuned up. We're ready to go out of tune ready to go out of tune in New York Minute because it's brand new strings on it. But that's one down, a few more to go. You get a chance to hear it play. Right? And I'm really curious to know what it sounds like. It's true voice. Not bad, guys. It's a nice sounding instrument, I am telling you. Okay, so we'll go through there and plug it in, turn the put it on the amp, get this truss rod cover on first. I was going to check one more time. Check this relief on this neck. One more time. Come here, baby. Okay, Gibson. And that is perfect. Alright, finally it's got some relief on that neck where it belongs. And we're going to play it to make sure there's no fret buzzing as we change anything else up on it. But I don't think we have to. I think that's pretty much it. I'll get that truss rod cover on there. And get it closed up again. But I think we pretty much finished working on this one. It's time to play it. And they call the owner up, tell him it's ready to come get it. Your guitar is in tune and set up professionally. And wow, these are dirty. These are really dirty screws on these things. They're like original screws that came with it. And considering that, you know, most people don't touch the truss rod, there's no doubt they probably are original screws. Okay, so we got those back in there, a hook or crook. Keep this thing tuned up. Get about 20 minutes to finish that up. Then we'll put on the amp and hear it play. Yay! And it should be pretty nice. Now the little pickups are all set up nice and right. And it's got a nice relief on it, no fret buzz. Everything's right with this guitar's life once again. Oh boy. Now I'll finish polishing it up top and bottom. Then put it back in its case and say, oh guys, time to come get her. It's all set up. I think he's going to enjoy this once he's got it back tremendously. It should sound just perfect. It's going to play really well because it's set up with a, you know, really low action. And no fret buzzing, cousin. But of course it needs some work done to it. Still needs the frets done. You know, they're just about finished. And I can fix that. Okay, well that's as true voice without the amp on, so let's hang in there. I'll put it to the amp and see what we come up with. Anyway, what we're going to do, guys, is let him play it to the amp when he comes to pick it up. Let him have that honor, okay? But in the meantime, I'm going to finish polishing it up, putting it back in its case, and bring it in my house. I'm not going to use that in my shop with the weather like it is, and let it sit in the house, make sure it stays nice and warm and toasty and nothing happens to it, right? Because it's now strung up, and that becomes a different animal when you have a guitar that's you know, hollow body and out in the weather with it to you know, to pitch. You don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is just stop for now, and next thing you know or see, it'll be him playing it and tell you what he thinks. So hang in there.